Hello, Internet Land. Hello, everybody out there. So, hi. Um, this is this is about the new conspiracy theorist on the Mueller report. How do you like being called conspiracy theorist? Not very fun, is it? Now, my understanding is Mueller did find some things on the Clintons and the Democrats, but we won't talk about that now, will we? Because we can excuse them. Now, don't get me wrong, I can't stand Trump, I can't stand the GOP. Yeah, but nothing that serious. So, look, you conspiracy theorists on the left, you're not liberals, you're leftist. A liberal, somebody who believes in freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, the right basically just to be left alone unless you're causing harm to another person. Liberalism, classical liberalism, that's included. Those things are part of liberalism. The left today, anti-Semites, they want to ban tobacco. The Nazis had a war on cancer. Did you guys know that? The Nazis had lots of socialist programs. The Nazis didn't like one group of people interacting with another group of people, and that group of people, they didn't like them interacting with another group of people. They banned books. They banned freedom of speech. Oh wait, that's right, I forgot. The Nazis were socialist. We want to conveniently forget about that now, don't we, people? There's a quote by Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, I don't have it pulled up, but I need to memorize it. And he said a difference in opinion when it comes to religion, philosophy, politics. He's not going to let that interfere with a friendship. Friendship's too important. Well, I had somebody recently block me because I disagreed with him. Of course, he has his opinions, and his opinions are right. Now, this is a guy who my late wife was best friends with since childhood. Well, I have a feeling he wasn't all that good of a friend. He's definitely not a friend of mine. He put all sorts of far left stuff up, and I rarely said anything. And when I did, he would mark it as spam. Because on the left, only the left's opinion matters. So when you have BAM and you have Antifa doing the same things the fascists did. By the way, I'm from fascist Spain. I think I know a little about what fascism is. It's socialism! And now you have the Democrats and the Republicans wanting to get rid of the Second Amendment. They have no respect for human life, i.e. abortion, the death penalty. It's a sad world we live in. And I'm very scared. I see the United States being in the same boat that Germany was in the 1920s and 30s. And if anybody thinks I support the Republicans, think twice about that. Because Trump has put in a bump stock ban. He wants red flag laws. He supports abortion. Look back at the Nazis. The early Nazis were, the membership was heavily gay. It was extremely heavily gay. Many of the early Nazi meetings were held in coffee houses, bars, and restaurants in Vienna and later in Germany. These were gay coffee houses. Ernst Röhm, he was not killed because he was gay. He was killed because Hitler saw him as a rival. Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, Castro, they did this to people. of course, they can find excuses why to get rid of someone, but that doesn't mean that what the official reason was true. I can go back in my own family history, and I can find you incidents of official history versus what really happened, and they're in opposition to each other. And that happens all the time. So National Socialism is socialism. They've just modified it. The only reason the Nazis had all the food and fuel and clothes and other goods that they had was because they were taking it from the countries they invaded. Germany was doing pretty good in many ways, but it was because they were confiscating, stealing this stuff from people that they occupied, they killed, they sent to camps and prisons. It was still socialism, but they made it into, German socialism, if you will, a nationalism. But Mao did do the same thing. Pol Pot did the same thing. Stalin did the same thing. When it suited them, it was nationalism. Pure and simple. On immigration, my dad was an immigrant. Both his parents were immigrants. His parents were immigrants twice. They were immigrants twice. I'm not from the United States. I'm from Spain. I have nothing against immigration. My view is that if you want to be an immigrant, you need to do it the legal way, the proper way. I've lived in third world countries. I visited third world countries. I don't want that. I've been to Mexico. I don't want that. Okay? I lived in Spain. I lived in Okinawa. I've lived in Germany. Germany wasn't what I would call third world by any means. But, I've lived in these countries. I'm from Spain. I could not tell you all the countries I visited because I'd be making a list that was 100 yards long. But how do you lefties like to be called conspiracy theorists? So you get the Mueller report, which you wanted, but now because his conclusion was contrary to what you wanted, now all of a sudden the Mueller report was wrong. That doesn't make much sense to me. You got what you wanted. You got the report. Do I believe there was something out there? I mean, I can't stand Trump. Okay, like I said, he's anti-Second Amendment. He's pro-abortion, and he stated, that he wants red flag laws. His administration has put in a bump stock ban. He stated years ago that he said he was more of a Democrat than a Republican. He only switched parties because of a possible political run, which is actually probably going to make him even more money because he has a bigger name recognition now, so more people are going to want to do business with him. Same with the Clintons. The Clintons didn't have all the money they have now when Bill Clinton's wife was in the White House. Hillary Clinton was president more than Bill was. And we live in a crazy, crazy world, a very scary world, very, very scary world. And it's the left with, they had some sort of event in D.C. They've had several events in D.C. where they had anti-Semites come straight out and speak at these events and cheered. People cheered for them. Yet they call Jews anti-Semites. They call gays homophobes. Like, where are you getting this crap from? How is a Jew anti-Semitic? How is a gay a homophobe? I don't get that. It makes no sense. Oh, because you disagree with them politically, you're going to slander them. That's what it is. You don't like their ideas. So instead of arguing the ideas, you attack them on a personal level, even if the way you're attacking them has no merit whatsoever. You know, somebody said something about, oh, they're a bunch of patriarchs. You're going to call a woman a patriarch. See, again, you're not making any sense. You're a bunch of hypocrites. You know, the wall that Trump wants. You know who started the whole thing? It was the freaking Democrats. Obama, under the Obama administration, is when the wall was started. But when the Democrats were doing it, it was okay. It was a good thing. But now that the Republicans are doing it, it somehow becomes a bad thing. People who claim to be pro-life, claim to be pro-2A, claim to be freedom of speech. If you support Trump, you're none of those things, because Trump is not any of those things. He does not like or support those things. He has made that clear time and time again. He can make a speech saying he's going to keep the Second Amendment. But then look at his policies. His policies are actually contrary to the Second Amendment. You don't have to have a constitutional convention to get rid of the Second Amendment. You just make a bunch of laws, rules, and regulations to get rid of it. It's still in the Constitution. It's just all the other laws are contrary to that, to what the Constitution says. So if you vote for Trump, you are voting for gun control. You're voting for abortion. Under Trump's first 2 years, the Republicans held both houses. I do not recall offhand if they had a veto-proof majority or not. The only thing I can remember them doing was claiming they wanted to defund Planned Parenthood. Big whoop-de-doo. It's not going to end abortion. You could have made a law saying abortion is killing babies, it's murder. Look at New York State. Far left New York State. They can now abort, murder a baby up to the time of birth. That is sick. That is sick. That is a baby that could live quite well, but you're going to kill it. That's sick. That's murder. So, and for the people who are Republicans, when Obama was trying to build that pipeline on First Nations land, American Indians, I remember all these people on the right who were opposing it and even went to protest. But now that Trump is the one doing it, somehow they conveniently have forgotten what they claimed they believed in. So, you know, you're hypocrites. Another thing, look at all the violence by BAM, Antifa, and other such groups. The Nazis did that. You're freaking Nazis. The Nazis did those things. If you really want socialism, go to North Korea, go to China, go to Cuba, go to Venezuela. In Spain, we would have said instead of Z for the S, but I don't live in Spain anymore. And I don't really speak Spanish anymore. I know a few words, maybe a few phrases, but, you know, I've lived in the United States too long. So I've forgotten what languages I did know. I've spoken several languages in my life, but the only one I do now is English. The only one I know now is English. But I have my German language set over there, but I haven't started it. My eyeglasses actually are scratched, but that's just an excuse. But so you're conspiracy theorists now. You on the left are a bunch of conspiracy theorists. No matter the facts, you're going to decide. You've decided that your opinions are facts. Opinions and facts are two very different things. Very different things. But you've decided your opinions, your wants, your ideas are fact, even though they're not fact. They're opinions, and you know, that's sad. That's very sad. But I need to finish dinner, so I'm going to get up and I'm going to end this video and I'm going to go finish dinner. I love this little thing right here. Oops. That is wolf hair. That's wolf hair. I haven't opened it. I'm afraid to open it. But that's from Everything Wolf. This is from their captive wolf pack. It's undercoat. They brush their wools to get this. I think it was like 15 bucks plus shipping. And just go to everythingwolf.com. I believe that's correct. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So, oh, and let's not forget the Nazis were environmentalists. Maybe not quite what some people today would consider environmentalists, but they were, in their day, environmentalists. A lot of the Nazi ideas came from the United States, from the far left in the United States. Like it or not, that's a fact. You know, maybe you need to read some things. Actually, read what they said. Read what they said, and you will find that the Nazis were in fact socialist. They were utopianist, and you know, so was Stalin, Mao, Castro, and so forth and so on. I don't believe in a utopia. Frankly, life is going to knock you down sometimes, and you just got to get back up. You know, and you know, I noticed today how the left wants to ban ideas and ban free speech because they can't win on ideas, so they have to force people to believe what they believe. They have to force people to only hear and see what they want them to hear and see. I see it in the media all the time. BuzzFeed got busted recently for fake news. Facebook has got busted. YouTube has got busted for censoring people they disagree with. No, there's no pornography, there's no foul language. It's just people they disagree with get censored. And people they disagree with, their videos, their posts, etc., get pushed way down. So, you know, it's a sad thing. It's interesting that you know, Bill Gates and all these people that have millions and billions, maybe trillions of dollars, are highly influential. They're all leftist. They're all on the far left. All these big corporate people, including Trump, are leftist. It's called crony capitalism, which is not really capitalism, and I don't even like the term capitalism. But you know, the Nazis, the Soviets, the Chinese today could be easily considered crony capitalist. So, you know, now you're the conspiracy theorist. Do you like being called a conspiracy theorist? Because if I ever hear one of you say something that's nonsensical, and I hear it a lot, but if I hear somebody saying something that's a conspiracy theory, and you're on the left, I'm going to call you a conspiracy theorist. I wonder how you're going to react. You probably get very upset because, again, your ideas cannot win, so you have to force people to believe what you want, even if you're wrong. That's all I have to say.